Well, you know, it's very obvious that the Democrat Party in Alabama has taken a hard left turn. Alabamians are not liberal, they're not left-wing, and when you've got a president like we have in President Obama that takes a left-hand turn every time you turn around, Alabamians don't like that. And so the Alabama Democrat Party has followed to the lead, though. Former Democrat Party Chairman Mark Kennedy has said often that Alabamians need to embrace Barack Obama. Well, they're not embracing Barack Obama. They're embracing the conservative principles of the Republican Party in Alabama. And that's the reason we've grown so much over the last few years. Again, Alabamians agree with the philosophy of the Alabama Republican Party and not the Democrat Party led by the likes of Mark Kennedy and Barack Obama. Well, we've been fortunate to elect every statewide official now as a Republican. As you said, we now have control of the legislature after 136 years. One of the things that I've been focusing on is taking it down to the next level. Last year, we targeted certain counties that we had not been successful in local races, and we targeted them. We found out we can elect Republicans at the local level as well as the state and the national level. Next year will be no different. We'll be concentrating next year on re-electing our statewide constitutional offices and judges. We'll also be concentrating on retaining our majority in the legislature, and then we'll take it down to the next level. Next year, there are county offices that we're really interested in. Every county has a sheriff, and every one of those sheriffs are up for re-election next year. Republicans only have 25 out of the 67 counties for Republican sheriffs, so obviously that's an area we're going to be looking at very clearly. Then you have district and circuit judges that are coming up next year. We'll be focusing on those. We have revenue commissioners in a lot of counties that are going to be coming up. So we're going to be a red state from the top to the bottom. You know, we've been fairly blue in some counties. Last year, for example, we won races in counties where we have never elected a Republican before. Take, for example, Jackson County. We'd never elected up in the northeast corner of Alabama a Republican until last year. We elected 2 county commissioners. Also in the northwest corner of Alabama, the Shoals area, Colbert County, for example, had never elected a Republican. We now have Republicans in Colbert County. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I had Senator Rick Santorum go with me up into the Shoals area to demonstrate that it's okay to be a Republican. And we don't have horns, and so the folks up in the Shoals area have welcomed us in the Republican Party, and we'll do some more things next year that's going to surprise some folks. Well, I said when I was elected chairman back in 2011 that I thought one of the challenges we would have is having Democrats join our party that didn't really share our conservative philosophy. And so we've really welcomed the conservative Democrats in our party that do share our philosophy. There are others, though, that are opportunists that would like to have the Republican label now, since that seems to be a better label in Alabama than the Democrat label, and they're coming over. And what we'll have to do is make sure that in the primary we identify those Democrats that are in Republican clothing, and we do have a plan for doing that. We know that Democrats are looking to enter the primary. In fact, former Democrat Party Chairman Mark Kennedy, who now heads up Democrat majority effort, says he will be endorsing Republicans in the Republican primary. Now, I don't know that I've ever seen a Democrat Party official endorse Republicans in Republican primary. So when you have that happen, you know something's up. And so we're going to be watching for that. I think that's a way that he thinks he can bring Democrats into the Republican primary and elect Democrats in a Republican primary. Well, that's not going to happen. I know the tricks. I know what they're up to, and I'm prepared to identify folks that are playing in our primaries. So the thing that I want to focus on is we have Alabamians are a conservative group of folks. The Republican Party is conservative. We don't want to be watered down by liberal Democrats coming into our party trying to be elected as Republicans when they're really not. So we have a plan to identify those, and we'll be very careful to make sure the voters of Alabama know a real Republican from a pretend Republican. It's the philosophy. You know, people talk about the labels Republican, Democrat, but really it's the philosophy that everyone is interested in. Where are you going to take us if you're elected?
And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, we are a principled people that want to know what are your core values. And those are things that develop over years and decades. They're not things that just pop up out of the blue.
Yeah, you don't change overnight on those kind of things. And if you see an elected official or someone running that does seem to flip overnight, you need to really ask a couple of questions about that individual.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree.
First of all, I think it's the leveling of the playing field where corporations are not limited in what they can contribute. For example, other organizations like unions, they're able to give unlimited amounts to candidates, and businesses should be able to do the same thing. The Alabama Education Association is the teacher union. They can give unlimited amounts of campaign contributions. So corporations should be able to do the same thing. So I think it's just going to create a level playing field. All we're looking for is a level playing field. unions have dues that they collect from their members, and they create a large pot of money that they can put into campaigns. Businesses typically will sometimes have a PAC that they get contributions from the employees, or they can just give corporate money. So I think it's a good thing that corporations can contribute just the way unions can, and I think it's going to be good for Alabamians. I think the voters of Alabama will be the ones that will benefit from this. I love being party chairman, and I plan to be party chairman for a while to come yet.
All right, we're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Bill. Great being
All right.
with you.
Thank you, sir.